we have a gentleman who I actually went to comedy college with. We both learned comedy together. And it's in his genes, I gotta say. Give it up for Bob Coakley.
Yeah! Keep it going for Liz. She put this whole thing together. I didn't know she was going to be able to pull it together. I went to college with her, and anyway. What's up? Back in the olden days, that's how we said hello. But I am Bob. I'm 56. I'm originally from Boston.
Woo!
Yeah, thank you. So I do have some exciting news. I just started taking Ozempic, and I'm already down $1,200. Insurance doesn't cover it. You know how many Pringles I could have bought with $1,200? I've done just about every diet. I counted calories when I was younger, which is probably why I'm so good at math today. I've done the keto diet. You can lose a ton of weight on keto, but it will make your breath smell worse in the bathroom at Taco Bell. And for a while there, I did Weight Watchers. Anyone here do Weight Watchers?
Yeah.
I want to brag, but at one point, I had the highest score on the app. But I was online the other day and I saw a Reddit thread. It was talking about some new celebrity diets. Maybe you've heard of them. Have you guys heard of the Jake Paul diet? This is where you get your calorie burn by beating up old black guys. Definitely not for me. And as Jake has proven, you can't do it forever. They talked about the R. Kelly diet. Have you heard of this? This is where you only order off the kids menu. Evidently Diddy was on that for a while too. Now the newest one is the Bill Belichick diet. That's named after the famous football coach. This is where you only order off the grandkids menu. Now I'm not even old enough for that one, but I could start hanging around the maternity ward just to call dibs. But honestly, I finally figured out why I've been so bad at dieting. It turns out there are two types of people. There's live to eat, and there's eat to live. My wife and I were both live to eat. Live to eat people, we see food as joy. We have any other live to eat folks here tonight? Raise your hand, make some noise. Woo! Yeah! We plan our day around our meals. You know, at some point during breakfast, one of us is going to say, what do you want to do for lunch? During lunch, we're making tomorrow's dinner plans. We've planned entire vacations around where we want to eat. Now on the other side, we have our eat to live people. They just see food as fuel. Where are my eat to live folks? Raise your hand, make some noise. Yeah. These are empty people. These are the people that go hiking on vacation. These are the people you hire to take out your trash, do your taxes. What you don't do is go out to dinner with them. So my wife and I, we accidentally went out to dinner with an Eat to Live couple. So they brought us to this tapas shared plate style restaurant. So we ended up splitting a Caesar salad and a 10-inch pizza. Do you know what Domino's calls a 10-inch pizza? A personal sized pizza. We split that 4 ways. Have you ever tried to only eat 2.5 inches of pizza? Ladies, I said pizza. So there we are, all filled up from our 5 leaves of lettuce and our 2.5 inches of pizza. And the waitress says, would you like to see a dessert menu? And immediately the Eat to Live couple says, in harmony, no thanks, we're good. We're good? I thought for sure they'd order, I don't know, a single blueberry cut into fourths. Maybe a glass of vanilla ice cream and 4 spoons. The best part of that night was hitting the drive-thru on the way home. But even that got awkward, Because they drove. Speaking of awkward, anyone here ever play house as a kid? Yeah?
Yeah.
We were so poor, we played apartment. It's a fun game. So one person plays the landlord, they knock on the door. Everyone yells back, "Check's in the mail!" I feel like we played that at least a dozen times a year. So I grew up in a working class Irish Catholic family. Anybody else going to hell? No, growing up, we were poor, but we loved Jesus. Now, I don't blame Jesus for us being broke. I know how busy he was helping all the athletes win championships. And we didn't mind going without Captain Crunch so the Celtics could win another title. We also had Colossal Crunch, the store brand. It had half the sugar and none of the taste. But my mom, she convinced us it was better. She said, when you eat Captain Crunch, you have to salute after every bite because the captain outranks you. Yeah. Now, when we got older, she said the same thing about Captain Morgan. The other thing about growing up poor is you learn the lingo. Like when my mom would say, "Do you want to go shopping?" That was just code for let's go put stuff on layaway and maybe pick it up in 30 days. I also figured out that our best meal was always in the first 2 days of the month. That was our best chance of having steak. Years later, I found out most people don't call steakums steak. Which was weird because no one's ever bragged about the great Philly cheese steakum they just had. This is where I was going to remember this. I'm a lapsed Catholic now. I only go to church when my mom's in town. I've done the math, and in my lifetime, I've been to Catholic Mass more than 1,200 times. Yeah. That totals out to 16 bottles of church wine, 900 naps, and 1,200 silent but deadlies. You can't make a grown man sit, stand, and kneel that much and expect zero emissions. At some point, I probably should have confessed, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned." I crop dusted the entire temple. When I take my mom to church now, I pretend like I know everybody. You know, I'm shaking hands, I'm waving to people across the church. It's like I'm running for office. I don't know a single person there. And it seems to work. Until we get to that part of the Mass they changed like 10 years ago. And then I'm transported back to third grade choir. You know, I'm lip syncing, trying to be invisible, hoping to God nobody can tell the difference. But of course, I'm standing right next to the one person who's in full opera mode. Ave Maria, Amen. That's why I was lip syncing. So much for being invisible. Speaking of invisible, do you think the person who came up with the saying, "Don't judge a book by its cover," ever met anybody with a mullet? You see someone with a mullet, you kind of know who they voted for. I'm not trying to be political. You see someone driving a Prius, you probably know who they voted for too. Now, a man with a mullet driving a Prius, that's some third-party shit. That's an enigma. And for those with a mullet, enigma means something strange or mysterious. But I am excited that we have springtime weather now. Only now I have to cut the grass every week. And that means I have to see a lot more of my neighbor, Chad. He's not a bad guy. It's just that Chad always cuts the grass with his shirt off. So this one Saturday, we're both out there cutting the grass at the same time, and I noticed a suspicious number of women walking around the neighborhood. So I mentioned this to my wife, and she's like, "Oh yeah, there's a neighborhood Facebook group." Whenever Chad's out there, someone will post, quote, "Great day for a walk, ladies." And just like that, every middle-aged woman within a half-mile radius is now getting those steps in. Well, I had dropped a couple pounds. I was feeling confident. I thought, what about me? So that next Saturday, I took my shirt off, went outside, and I started cutting the grass. Within minutes, there was a notification. I got excited, and I clicked, shelter in place until further notice. Now, in fairness, once I was done, my wife posted the all clear. And that's how I became the first person to ever get a fence approved by the Village of Elm Grove. They said it qualified under the community service exemption. I'm Bob Coakley. I'll be out cutting the grass.